Guys, today we're going to be making some marbled paper. It's super easy and you can use it in about everything. You can use it to make bookmarks, put it in your scrapbook, or make cards out of it. Today we're going to show you how to make the marbled paper, and then later in the video we'll show you some ways you can use it. For this project you're going to need some paper. Now the paper we're using is a little bit thicker because regular paper will get wet from the shaving foam and it will tear easily. So you need a little bit thicker paper. We're also using some utensils here. We have a spoon, knife, and fork because we're thinking about the different textures it might make in the paper and the designs. And also everyone has these. You'll need a cake pan or some kind of tray. Now, you don't want to make it too big because you'll have to use a lot of shaving foam. But if you do make it big and use a lot of shaving foam, we'll show you how to use it several times. You'll also need some food coloring. We're using gel food coloring, but you can use any kind you want. Some shaving foam. Now, you can get more or less shaving foam depending on how many marbled papers you want to make. And last, we have a piece of cardboard or cardstock that you can scrape off the paper. Well, let's get to paper marbling. The first step to making your marbled paper is to spray your shaving foam. Now, if you don't have that much shaving foam, we have 3 tips for you. The first tip is to only use part of your pan. The second tip is to use thinner layers instead of the thick layers we have here. The third tip is to reuse your shaving foam. Next, spread out your shaving foam so it's nice and even. You don't want too many bumps or ridges. When you're adding your food coloring, which is the next step, make sure not to add too many colors and use colors that look good together. When you're mixing them around, make sure not to spread them into each other, otherwise it could make brown. That same thing happens when you use too many colors. See how I'm spraying the colors away from each other? Now I'm taking my fork or my spoon and just blending a little. I still don't want too many ridges in the shaving foam. Now I'm going to take my paper and put it on top. We found out that what works best is pressing it really hard in. I didn't know this at the beginning, but then I found out later. It also works if you rub it down. Set your shaving foam pan aside and place your paper on the table flat. Now this project does get messy, so you're going to need a place where you can clean up. I'm using my cardboard scrap to scrape off the excess shaving cream and seeing if I can put more color on the paper where the white is. My paper had 2 blank spots, so I decided to re-dip it. Now you can do this with a separate piece of paper too. This is how you save shaving foam. Again, I'm just going to scrape it off. Now that you've made your paper marbling, you can use it for several projects. Now, it took me a few tries to get the one I wanted and that I liked. So, let's get to first making a bookmark. Now we're going to make a bookmark. To make this, you're going to need your marbled paper, scissors, a hole punch, a marker of some sort, which is optional, thread, and tape, which is also optional but it's for protection. First, you're going to choose a part of your paper that you think looks good. Now you're going to cut a little strip of it and set the rest aside for another project. Now you're going to take your tape, cut a few pieces of it, and place it over the top of the bookmark. This is optional, but it protects it from water and it also makes it more durable so it lasts longer. It's okay if a lot hangs off the edge, we're just going to cut that off later. You just want to make sure all the paper is covered with the tape. Do the same on the back. Now we're going to trim the excess, making sure not to cut the paper. Now that we put the tape on, or if you didn't, that's okay. Now you're going to hole punch it. Make sure don't do it directly at the top because it could rip, especially if you don't have tape. I'm just removing the excess tape from the back. Now pick a color of string. You're going to cut a long piece of it, and then you're going to fold it in half. And fold it in half again, and again until you get the length that you might want. Make sure you have enough string to tie a knot. Put the end of the string through the hole. The end you want put through the hole is the end without the loose threads. You're going to have to tie a double knot just to make sure that it doesn't come off. After you're done, trim the excess. If you find that your string is too long, just trim it and it'll be shorter. Now you see the loops that you have at the end? You just want to cut those. Now I'm going to flip it over on its back and write with my marker something that I want on my bookmark. This is an optional piece. If you want to put another piece of marbled paper on the back, that's fine too, whatever words you want. Now we're going to make a card. For this you're going to need your marbled paper, a Sharpie or other type of marker, and scissors. First you're going to take your marbled paper and cut to the size you want your card. My paper was already pretty small, so I didn't have to cut it. You're going to fold it in half and then trim the edges. The trimming edges part is optional, but I think it looks really nice. Now you're going to write on your card something like Happy Birthday or Happy Mother's Day or Happy Valentine's Day. You can also decorate the card with marbled paper scraps, or you can make a pop-up card or decorate however you want. Maybe some glitter, or the marbled paper looks pretty by itself. You could just do that. To make a gift tag, you're going to need paper. This can be small paper, since it won't be very big. A marker, scissors, a hole punch, and some thread. First, you're going to cut out your gift tag shape. It's basically a square with a triangle on top. You can sketch out with a pencil first if you'd like. I recommend that you make the square first, then the top. But you can make your gift tag any shape you'd like a circle, or just a regular square. Now I'm rounding off the edges. You don't have to do this, but you can. I think it looks nice. Now I'm taking my hole punch and punching a hole in the tip. Now remember from the bookmark that you don't want to punch it too high up or it could rip. And this one doesn't have protection. Now I'm going to take my marker and write to and from. You can write the names when you need them, or you can just save them for later, or you can use them now. Now I'm going to take my string and do the same thing I did with the bookmark. Cut a long piece, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. Make sure to leave enough room to tie your knot. The several layers of string will help to keep it from breaking and help it to stay on the gift. If you're having trouble tying the knot, ask a parent or a sibling. Now trim the excess. Now remember, with the bookmark we cut off all the loops. That's what we're going to do now. There, your bookmark is done. In this video, you learned how to make marble paper, and you made some things out of it. You learned how to make a gift tag, bookmarks, and cards that were really useful. What else can you think of making? Goodbye for now, little artist, and remember to stay artful and smartful.